Hello, everyone. Amber Benson here. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Thrive Life and lover of Ruvi. Yes, so excited about all things Ruvi. I'm so excited to watch a lot of you starting to use Ruvi and seeing the changes that it's making in your life. Today, I am here to talk to you a little bit about Ruvi and how it compares to other diets that are out there in the industry and that many people are using. So let's dive right in. It's actually a really good time of year to talk about this topic because as you probably have seen and maybe as you feel yourself, it's a really good time of year to think about your health and to think about things that you can do to improve your health. It's a big time of year for weight loss as well. So many people want to get back into the groove of things and lose weight. And so there are a lot of things being maybe seen by you or being pushed in the market about different diets and diet plans. I did a little bit of research on this and found a report by U.S. News and World Report that talks about the most popular diets of 2019 per Google. So these are diets that are being searched for on Google. And that's a little different than maybe the diets that people are actually on, but it shows there's, some correlation there. So the top 3 most searched diets of 2019, number 1 is intermittent fasting. And there's different forms of this, but basically stopping eating at a certain time at night around 7 and then starting to eat again in the morning, usually around noon or 1 or 2, depending on what you're looking at and following. So intermittent fasting was the top researched or searched for diet. The second, it was interesting. It's called Dr. Sebi diet. And I won't go into details. You're going to add to the statistics of this diet by searching it, but it's basically is a diet that espouses an alkaline system. And so it talks to you about eating things that will cause an alkaline system. The third most researched or searched for diets was the Noom, N-O-O-M, Noom diet. And it's basically an app that can help with weight loss. So the interesting thing is, it was actually different in 2018, significantly different. In fact, the top searched for diet in 2018 is the keto diet. That didn't even make the top 10 in 2019. Again, this is Google searches. The second most searched for in 2018 was the Dubrow diet. This was a diet created by the Real Housewives of Orange County. Interesting. And the third most searched for diet was, again, the Noom diet. Interestingly, though, I could not find much information out there, at least from a reputable source, of what the most common diets are that people are actually following. There are definitely more popular diets that we assume people are using, but I couldn't find any great information on it, so I'm not going to share anything there on you. But I think what all of this does is it illustrates the complexity and the confusion and the inconsistency out there with what we're learning about as far as weight loss goes or healthy eating, that there's so much information and it's always changing. So it causes confusion. I would mention that it's pretty consistent and common when a poll or a study is done on what diet is the healthiest for the body. What usually ranks number 1, typically coming from doctors, is the Mediterranean diet. And what U.S. News and World Report gave is it's a good summary of the Mediterranean diet. It says its emphasis is on fruits, vegetables, olive oil, fish, and other healthy fare. The Mediterranean diet is eminently sensible. So a lot of times they are just looking at what is the healthiest for your body from an overall nutrient standpoint, which diet gives you the right amount of nutrients and produces those kinds of results. Now, just a little disclaimer, some of the other diets that are on the market are for specific things. For example, if you're looking just to lower your blood pressure, there's specific diet plans that may be for that, or for reducing the effects of type 2 diabetes. There might be diets for that. So the Mediterranean diet was sort of their answer to just overall general health for people. I liked that one too, because it talks a lot about fruits and vegetables and the value that fruits and vegetables have in our diet. So when we look at Ruvi and talk about how does this fit into the whole picture of diets, is it a diet? I thought it would be good to do this looking at it through the eyes of some of those who are using Ruvi. So Michelle Morrison, a little shout out to you. She mentioned that she has lost count of what day she is on with the Ruvi challenge. Now, the Ruvi challenge is a challenge that many people are engaged in right now, and it's actually not too late to start that. I'm going to give a little plug. You can go onto the goruvi.com website, and there's a challenge link, and you can sign up anytime before January 31st. So we're getting close, but it's a really awesome way to get engaged with this product and start to see results. So Michelle says, I've lost count on what day I am on in the Ruvi challenge. I think it's because it doesn't feel like a diet. Ruvi is just something I look forward to every day. Today I relaxed and slept in, but I managed to get 6+ servings of fruits and veggies for brunch. So I love that she said it doesn't feel like a diet, and that's because it's not. It's really just getting more fruits and vegetables into your diet. Christina Rios Dorado, also, she was our 30-day Ruvi Challenge winner from our first Ruvi Challenge. She talks a lot about how this is a lifestyle change. It's not a diet, and she's kind of proclaimed herself as the diet in-house expert. She knows a lot about every diet that's out there. She claims to have been on almost every one of them, and Christina really loves what Ruvi is doing for her, because it's not a temporary diet that she's on trying to produce a certain result. It's a lifestyle change. And I would say this is echoed by Zanya Foco. She is somebody that's very familiar with Ruvi. She's a registered dietitian. She loves Ruvi. She's a wellness expert. And with her clients, she just asks them to start counting the number of fruits and vegetables in their diet. Stop counting everything else. She says you don't need to even count your macros, because if you're getting enough fruits and vegetables in your diet, the other things tend to fall in place. And again, that's really what Ruvi is about. And what we're hoping for is that people get more of the fruits and vegetables in their diet that they're lacking. Our North American diets typically it doesn't give us enough fruits and vegetables. Ruvi is simply giving you more of those needed fruits and vegetables in your diet. So not a diet, it's a way of living. It's a lifestyle. So now that we've kind of gotten that out of the way, I'd like to talk just for a minute about how you change your lifestyle and your eating habits so that you're living in this more healthy way. There is a transition period. It takes a while for this to become habit, to consume a full 10 half-cup servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Dr. Hatch, he's another doctor. He works a lot on the brain and studies the brain. He talks about 90 days that it takes to make a habit. So if you go in and you're really good for 30 days, awesome. You're doing great, but go 90, because 90 days is where those changes in behaviors will become habit. So let's talk for a minute about some ways to stick to eating a healthy diet plan. So I would say number one step is to think what motivates you and write these things down. Motivation comes in many forms and it's different for everyone. So you need to determine what motivates you and put that in front of you. Really determine what that is, write it down so that you can look at it. It can be little, from fitting into your favorite pair of jeans, to a little bigger, being able to run again like you used to always do, or having enough energy to get through your afternoons, right? My personal motivation is to avoid type 2 diabetes. My dad was diagnosed with that several years back. I know that then that's in my genetics, and I want to avoid that. So I want to eat healthily now so that I'm not in a situation in the future where I'm having to deal with that. Number 2 idea is to get rid of the junk food. I came home yesterday from work, and sitting on my counter was this beautiful plate of sugar cookies that my sweet sister-in-law next door had made and delivered. And I thought, well, I don't want to just throw it away. She put all this love and attention into it, and maybe others in the house will want to eat it. So I put a towel over it because it looked so good. And I knew I didn't want to eat it. I knew I wouldn't feel good after eating it. So I covered it with a towel, and out of sight, out of mind, right? Well, it really is true. And I tell you, when I am at home during the day, I do not eat nearly as well as I do when I'm at work, because there's a very limited certain things that I can eat at work. It's whatever I bring here for me to eat. So I really am conscious and make it meaningful to bring the right kinds of foods to work. When I'm at home, I tend to pick and snack at things that maybe aren't as good for me. So it'd be better if I just eliminated those things from my house, right? Tip number 3, don't have an all or nothing approach. So there's research coming out that shows that when you 100% eliminate something from your diet, that it can cause reverse psychology on you, and you cannot stop craving that item because you've told yourself you can't have it. Some people work really well this way, though. If you're one of those people, my husband's this way. He has to just completely turn it off, and or else he has to have all or nothing. For me, I don't do so well that way. I do start to crave and obsess over something that I've told myself I can't have. So we don't want you to have a bad relationship with food. Food is good. It fuels your life, right? So we want positive associations with food. So we don't want you to feel bad about decisions that you make. That's why I like that Zanya focuses on the do's. Do get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day instead of focusing on the don'ts. Okay, number 4 point is to plan out your day and prep your food. And sometimes you need to do this for the week so that you have the right food in your home. But I find that when I prep for my day, and I know exactly what I'm going to eat for the whole day, that I do a lot better at consuming the right foods. I was going to bring it. I have this great little bag of fruits and vegetables that I prepare every day and bring for myself to eat throughout the day. And if I didn't plan that, then I'd be starving at lunchtime and head off probably to get some fast food. So plan what you're going to eat. Make it ahead of time if you can, because then you'll end up eating those things. Number 5, I think I'm on. Have a game plan before you go eat out. I know that that's a tricky thing. You go, and usually when I'm hungry, I go at it, right? I just eat whatever's in front of me. So I have started to drink a Ruvi before I go out to eat. And that seems to fill my stomach to an extent so that when I get there, I don't overeat. And I know that I've started it with some good healthy fruits and vegetables. Number 6, track and monitor your progress. So at a minimum, you can log the food that you eat in a food journal. There are tracking apps out there. I'm not here to recommend any specific ones, but there are several out there. Or even more extreme, send the food that you eat, a tracking of that, a log, to a friend or somebody that can hold you accountable. I go to a specific gym to work out, and the gym owner posted something. His wife's a nutritionist. He posted a story about a gal who had just lost a bunch of weight, and he attributed it primarily to that gal sharing her food consumption with his wife, who's the nutritionist. And then, of course, she would give her some tips on what she can do to improve. But just the accountability alone is huge and can cause change in the way you eat. Next point is to start your day with a high protein breakfast. We've heard this all along, right? That breakfast is your most important meal of the day. One study showed in overweight women who consumed at least 30 grams of protein at breakfast felt more satisfied and ate fewer calories at lunch than those who ate a lower protein breakfast. So protein and fat add a little bit of, it tides you over till the next meal. If you're only eating carbs, you burn through those a lot quicker, especially high sugar carbs. You'll burn through that really quickly and then start to feel cravings and hunger, maybe sooner than you otherwise would have had you consumed some protein as well. Next point is to realize that it takes time to change your habits. Eventually it will become automatic, but give it some time. If you start into something in a week, you completely fall off the wagon, that is okay. It's okay. Tell yourself it's okay, dust yourself off, and start again the next day. Daily, where it becomes a problem is if every day becomes that way, right? So it's okay to have mess ups here and there, and what counts is that you keep trying and you keep pushing through, and that it takes a little bit of time to create habits. Next is to enjoy your food. There's a big movement out there right now called mindful eating. It's really interesting. It talks about relying on your body to tell you when you're hungry, that your body produces food hunger cues, and you need to listen to that. But also creating a good relationship with food. And I talked about that for a minute. Be thinking about the food you eat and be grateful for the food you eat. And really pay attention to the way it tastes. And those things can bring a lot of joy to your eating, and it actually helps you to control the amount that you eat. An example for me on this is raw broccoli is really hard for me to eat. And I have not been eating it for a long time in this bag of fruits and vegetables that I make. And I decided to give it another try recently. And I really kind of focused on the health benefits of the broccoli and the taste of it. And I actually am starting to like the taste of broccoli. So it can happen. And last point, figure out what works best for you. Everybody's different. Every body is different, and different things work well for everybody. So figure out what works well for you, and find something that is enjoyable for you and that is sustainable and that you can stick with for the rest of your life. It's been about a year now that my husband and I have changed the way that we eat our breakfasts and lunches and our afternoon snacks. We prepare this at the beginning of the day, and I love it. I in fact, if I don't have it, if it's the weekend and we kind of slip out of that routine or habit, then my body notices it. I don't feel quite the same. And so do something that is sustainable for you, because it will make all the difference, right? I just wanted to end with one little story. So several years ago, I was in the grocery store and I encountered a man from Japan. And I honestly don't know if he spoke any English. He looked like he was straight off the plane from Japan. He was, he felt like definitely he was a fish out of water. He was trying to find all of this food that he was accustomed to eating at home. And when I had seen him a few times throughout his shopping process, and then we ended up being next to each other in the shopping queue in the line. And I looked into his basket and noticed his big shopping cart, noticed how much produce he had in there. I kid you not, it was 90% produce. And the kind of produce that I typically don't ever add to my basket. And I was so impressed with the way he was at least shopping, and I'm assuming cooking, that he had so many of those fruits and vegetables in his diet. And I looked into my cart and kind of compared it, and I thought, whoa, I can definitely do better. And I love to return and report that when I shop, I do see so much more produce in my cart than I ever saw before. It's become a lifestyle change for me. I actually end up going to the market a couple times a week because I want all of this fresh produce in my life. Of course, I eat a lot of Thrive as well, but Ruvi is changing my life as well. It's helping me get those servings of fruits and vegetables. I drink at least one Ruvi a day. I actually drink more like 2 because we add it into some smoothies that we make in the morning. So get your Ruvi in, change the way you eat. I know you can do it. Follow some of these simple steps. Some of them are more simple than others, but you can do it. Get on this challenge because it can also help you to stay accountable and motivated. It's been wonderful. for those who are on the challenge and are sharing their stories on the Facebook page. So take care, everyone, and have a great day.